in the hush between conversations, in the silence after the jokes fade, in the quiet glances and long drives where no words are spoken, there lies a truth men carry but rarely speak. They crave peace, not the kind that comes from a quiet room or a lack of chaos, but the kind that lives in a woman's presence, a peace that soothes the storm inside without even trying, a peace that feels like home when the world outside is a battle. Men won't always admit it. Maybe it's pride, maybe it's that old script passed down from fathers and uncles who said, man up, keep it in, don't be soft. But beneath that armor, beneath the hustle and the hard edges, they're yearning for a kind of stillness only a grounded, loving woman can bring. Not submission, not silence, but peace, emotional safety, that sense that she's not there to compete, compare or control, but to understand, uplift and vibe in calm confidence. It's not about being perfect. It's not about never arguing. It's about knowing that when he comes home, he's not walking into another battlefield. It's about soft landings after hard days. It's the feeling that she respects him even when she's mad at him, that her words don't cut deep just to win, that she can let him lead without losing herself, that she knows how to hold space without saying a word, just being there, solid, steady, serene. They might never say it out loud, but it's written all over their actions, hidden in the way they pull back when the energy gets heavy, when the air turns sharp with criticism, when home starts feeling like a second battlefield instead of a sanctuary. You see, peace to a man isn't about silence or walking on eggshells. It's about emotional ease. It's the vibe in the room. It's how you look at him when he walks in the door. It's the tone behind your words, not just the words themselves. He wants to know that when he's with you, he can exhale, that he doesn't have to brace himself for another round of passive-aggressive comments or a checklist of what he's doing wrong, that he won't be met with suspicion, sarcasm or subtle digs every time he opens up. Peace looks like trust. Peace feels like knowing you're not waiting to pounce, not picking apart his every flaw. And no, it's not about avoiding hard conversations or pretending things are okay when they are not. It's about the way you move through those moments. Do you come with fire or do you come with grace? Do you seek to understand or just to be right? Do you let a disagreement destroy the whole vibe or do you hold space for both of you to be human? Because the truth is, life is already full of pressure for him, from work, from the world, from the silent weight of expectations he carries without complaint. What he's looking for is a woman who can help him recharge, not drain him further. A woman who knows how to bring calm, not chaos. Who knows how to listen without cutting him down. Who knows that real power as a woman comes from her ability to bring softness into a world that's already hard. It's wild, really, how men carry so much, but are taught to reveal so little. From the time they're boys, the world starts whispering, then shouting, that vulnerability makes them weak, that tears are something to hide, that needing comfort is somehow unmanly. So they build walls not because they want to keep you out, but because the world told them that opening up might cost them respect, might make them seem soft, unstable, or less of a man. But deep down, beneath the armor, they're starving for emotional safety, not perfection, not someone who fixes everything, just a space where they can breathe, where they don't have to perform strength 24/7. A woman who can handle his truth without using it as ammo later. A woman who doesn't mock his fears or downplay his stress, but hears him, really hears him, and holds that space like it's sacred. Emotional safety isn't loud, it's not a grand gesture, it's subtle, consistent energy. It's her presence during his silence. It's her choosing not to interrupt when he is trying to explain something he barely has words for. It's the way she doesn't belittle his emotions even when she doesn't understand them. It's how she respects the moments he's struggling without making it about her. And no, he's probably not going to sit you down and say, I need to feel emotionally safe with you. Most men don't have the language for that. And even if they do, they've been burned too many times after expressing it. So they go quiet, they retreat, they hold back, they test the waters, drop little bits of honesty, waiting to see if it's safe to go deeper. When it's not safe, they go colder. When it is, they open like the sky after rain. He's not looking for someone who has all the answers. He's not looking for a therapist. He's looking for a partner who understands that even warriors get tired, that even the strongest men need a place to lay their truth down without fear it will be used against them later. Emotional safety to a man is priceless, and when he finds it, he'll move mountains to protect it. In a world that constantly mistakes noise for strength and chaos for passion, the woman who carries herself with calm is often misunderstood. But make no mistake, her peace isn't passiveness. Her quiet isn't submission. Her softness is not a lack of depth. She is rooted. And that kind of stillness takes a strength most people will never understand. A peaceful woman knows who she is. She doesn't need to prove her worth by arguing every point or controlling every moment. She is not out here to outshine anyone or win every debate. Her power doesn't come from being the loudest voice in the room, but from being the one people turn to when the noise becomes too much. She is the calm in the middle of the storm. Not because the storm doesn't touch her, but because she's built herself to withstand it. And men, they feel that energy more than anything. They might not have the words for it, but they notice. The way she doesn't fold under pressure, the way she doesn't turn every disagreement into a war, the way she stays composed, not because she's suppressing her fire, but because she's mastered how to use it. She doesn't weaponize her emotions. She channels them. She doesn't need to play games. She's too real for that. She can love without losing herself. She can care without clinging. She's not afraid to be feminine, not afraid to be gentle, because she knows that in a world addicted to chaos, gentleness is rebellion. A peaceful woman doesn't tolerate disrespect. Don't get twisted. Her boundaries are solid. But the way she enforces them, it's with grace, not aggression. She doesn't need to yell to be heard. She doesn't need to tear down to feel powerful. Her presence alone speaks volumes. And when a man meets that kind of woman, one who isn't looking to compete, one who doesn't drain his spirit, one who brings clarity instead of confusion, he doesn't just notice, he remembers her. Because that kind of peace, it's magnetic, it's rare, it's the kind of energy that lingers long after she leaves the room. When the storms come, and they always do, when tension rises, tempers flare and emotions ride high, the one thing a man will never forget is how you treated him when it would have been easiest not to. Disagreements are inevitable, you're not always going to see eye to eye, but it's how you disagree that draws the line between building something lasting or slowly unraveling it thread by thread. You see, men might not say it, but they feel it in their bones when respect slips through the cracks. It's not about ego, it's not about needing someone to bow down or shrink themselves. It's about a deep, ancient need to feel honored in the relationship, not worshipped, not babied, just seen and regarded for who they are, especially when things get rough. The tone of your voice, the words you choose, whether you throw his mistakes in his face like weapons or speak truth with care, not cruelty, all of that matters more than you might think. Because disrespect doesn't always come loud. Sometimes it comes quiet, in eye rolls, in sarcasm, in dismissive comments. And those things, they don't just hurt, they chip away at a man's ability to feel safe, seen and loved. Even when he is wrong, even when he messed up, he still needs to know he's not been belittled, that you're not stacking his flaws like bricks to build a wall between you, that you're not turning disagreement into humiliation, because the second he feels disrespected, he starts to close off, he starts to protect himself. And the worst part, most of the time, he won't say a word about it. He'll just shift quietly, subtly, until the connection starts fading and nobody really knows why. But when a woman knows how to stand her ground without tearing him down, when she can speak with fire but not burn him with it, when she can disagree and still make him feel like a man, that's when he leans in, that's when he listens, grows, reflects, not because he's scared of her, but because he respects her back. Life already asks him to be a warrior out there in the world beyond your shared space. He's expected to hold it together, keep grinding, show no weakness, carry weight after weight like it's nothing. He's got to be composed under pressure, unfazed by stress, always ready to take the hit and keep moving. But when he comes home, when he walks through that door, physically or emotionally, the last thing he wants is to step into another battleground. He's not asking for perfection. He's not expecting you to never be upset, never challenge him, never have a bad day. But what he is silently praying for is a landing place. A woman who doesn't meet his exhaustion with more demands, more chaos, more noise. He's looking for peace, for gentleness, for something that reminds him why he's fighting in the first place. He needs a woman who understands that her softness is not weakness, is medicine, that her calmness can heal him in ways even she might not fully realize. Her touch, her words, her energy, all of it matters. Because to a man who's been battling the world all day, that softness feels like safety. It feels like exhale. It feels like maybe, just maybe, he doesn't have to be in fight mode all the time. You want to know why some men pull away, why they stop opening up, stop engaging, stop trying? It's not always because they've stopped caring. Sometimes it's because they got tired of feeling like even their own home isn't a place to rest. They got tired of being expected to be bulletproof, even in the one space where they hoped they could finally put the armor down. When a woman knows how to be his peace, not by suppressing herself or being quiet, but by choosing softness over suspicion, calm over chaos, understanding over accusation, she becomes more than just his partner. She becomes his refuge, his reason, his reset. He doesn't need another opponent, he needs a teammate, a haven, a soft place to land when everything else feels hard. In a world that moves fast, breaks often, and screams louder than it listens, emotional stability stands out like a lighthouse in a storm. It's not flashy, it's not loud, but to a man who's been through emotional highs and lows, who's felt the sting of mood swings, the confusion of mixed signals, or the fear of walking on eggshells, stability feels like salvation. There's something magnetic about a woman who doesn't let every inconvenience shake her, who doesn't let her whole vibe shift because of a passing mood or a triggered insecurity. She feels steady, she feels like morning light instead of lightning. She knows how to self-regulate, how to breathe through her own storms without throwing thunder at everyone in the room. And that energy, it's healing. Men might not always have the words for it. They might not even know why they feel more drawn, more grounded, more at ease in her presence. But they feel it in their bodies, in their minds. When she's emotionally stable, she creates a space where he doesn't have to constantly adjust himself to avoid setting something off. He doesn't have to play therapist, doesn't have to decode every silence, doesn't have to apologize for things he never even knew he did. He can just be. This kind of woman isn't cold or robotic. She feels deeply, but she's learned how to hold her emotions without letting them explode all over the place. She can express pain without creating drama. She can speak truth without going nuclear. She doesn't punish him with silence or weaponize affection. She talks through things, not around them. And even in her anger, even in her disappointment, there's clarity, there's direction, there's emotional maturity. To a man, that feels rare, because it is rare. Stability doesn't mean she never cries. It means she knows when to cry, how to cry, and still hold space for peace in the same breath. It means she's not perfect, but she's aware. And that awareness, that inner calm, it creates a kind of safety for him that he probably didn't even know he needed until he found it. Because when a woman is emotionally stable, she becomes a safe rhythm in a world full of noise. She's the heartbeat he wants to come home to. Trust to a man isn't just a word, it's a feeling, a deep inner knowing that says, she believes in me, and that belief, it fuels him, it sharpens him, it makes him feel like he can take on the world and still have the strength to come back and hold you steady. But the moment he starts to feel like he's being doubted at every turn, like every word needs proof, like every action has to be defended, that's when something inside him begins to dim. You see, men are wired to protect, to provide, to lead in whatever way feels natural for them. And whether it's old school or just instinct, that role loses its meaning when the woman beside him makes him feel like he's always on trial, like he's always guilty until proven innocent. Like one wrong step and it's accusations, assumptions, and a full investigation. He wants to feel like you trust his intentions, even if he doesn't always get the execution right. He wants to know you see his heart, not just his mistakes. Because a man who feels constantly questioned will eventually start questioning himself. And that's not strength, that's erosion. That's a slow grind on his spirit. One he may never speak about, but one he feels in silence, in distance, in withdrawal. A woman who trusts her man, truly trusts him, gives him room to grow. She doesn't hover. She doesn't snoop. She doesn't treat his every move with suspicion. Instead, she sets the tone, one of openness. She's not naive, she's just wise enough to know that real trust can't exist in a space where control is king. And when a man feels trusted, he shows up different, he moves with more purpose, he gives more, he wants to protect what you've built because he knows you're not just watching him, you're with him, you're on his team. You're not micromanaging his every move because you've already chosen to believe in who he is, not just what he does. Trust isn't blind, but it's bold. It says, I see you and I believe in the goodness inside you. And when a woman leads with that kind of energy, she doesn't just gain a man's loyalty, she earns a part of him that no one else gets to touch. Too many people think that peace in a relationship means walking around each other like ghosts, keeping quiet to keep things calm, suppressing emotions just to avoid conflict. But real peace, it's not passive, it's powerful. It's not the absence of noise, it's the presence of something deeper, something that holds two people steady even when life tries to shake them loose. A peaceful relationship is one where both souls can breathe, where both voices are heard, not just the loudest one, where disagreement isn't a threat but a moment to learn. A peaceful woman doesn't bring silence, she brings stillness. A kind of presence that says even when things get messy, I'm still here. I'm still present. I'm still for us. That kind of energy doesn't come from ignoring problems. It comes from facing them with wisdom, not weapons. Men don't want to be silenced. They don't want a woman who never speaks up, never challenges them, never holds them accountable. What they want is a woman who can do all that without tearing down the whole house in the process. A woman who can express frustration without turning it into destruction. A woman who can have real conversations without turning them into war zones. A woman who brings harmony not by always agreeing but by always being grounded in love, not ego. That kind of peace is rare because it takes maturity, it takes someone who's done the inner work, who doesn't need chaos to feel alive, who doesn't pick fights just to feel in control. A woman who can stand in the middle of conflict and still carry herself with softness, who knows how to listen even when she's mad, who can choose her words with care even when her heart is breaking. That woman isn't just peaceful, she's transformative. And when a man finds that kind of peace in a woman, it quiets the noise inside him too. It makes him feel like he doesn't have to be in defense mode all the time. Like love doesn't have to be a fight. Like connection can actually feel safe. Not because it's always easy, but because it's built on understanding, not power struggles. So in the end, it's not about grand gestures or perfectly rehearsed lines. It's not about being flawless or always getting it right. What men want, what they rarely say but deeply crave, is a woman who brings peace, not pressure. A woman who doesn't fight against him, but fights with him, for the same team. A woman whose energy feels like home, not because it's quiet, but because it's steady. When she's grounded, when she's soft but strong, when she trusts and respects and loves with presence, she becomes unforgettable. Not because she plays games or chases attention, but because her love gives him something this world never could: rest.